Welcome to Sassafras Valley.
Well, today I'm going to start on a project. This is two pieces of wood. One right here, where you can see that the tree broke in half. Okay. And it came from my son-in-law. The tree fell down, I think it was in the spring. Didn't have leaves on it yet, so it must have been late winter. A tree fell down in his yard there, and he grabbed his chainsaw and he chunked it up and sent it over to me to see if I wanted to do anything. It's one of those, I don't know if it's a Bradford, but it's one of those decorative pear trees that have become so much of a pest in the fields and woods and such around here. But anyway, he had one in his yard, and that limb fell down. He cut it off, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it, but I thought to start with, one of the things I wanted to do is he's got this golf club, and it is a Ping. I believe it's an answer putter, but I don't know which model. I'll get into that when we get to the putter. But anyway, it had a plastic head mounted behind the blade, and it broke. So I thought it might look pretty nice to take a chunk of this pear that he harvested and fix that putter head for him. If it don't work out, if I can't figure out how to get it weighted right and such, then, well, it ain't much lost. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple chunks out of this that I can take up and try to get dried out a little bit without it cracking too bad. So I'll set you up over here, and you can watch while I just cut a couple chunks right out of this. Got me a few pieces of stove wood out of it. Well, this don't look too bad. This end here's got quite a few cracks in it, but they don't run. Only one of them runs through to this end. Well, there's another one. I don't know. This may be junk, but anyway, I wanted them just a little less than 6 inches because that's what'll fit through my bandsaw. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to coat these. And I'm going to set them up and let them dry for just a little while. Now, I may go ahead and just cut them on the bandsaw. Well, we'll see where we get to. They'll definitely have to dry before I try to make any final piece out of them. Well, cutting that wet wood's kind of tough on that. But it gives me 3 pieces to mess with. Now let's see how many I get out of that other. Hopefully one of these is going to dry out without having big cracks in it. Well, I'm going to coat the ends of these to retard them from drying out. It's I want them to dry fairly fast, but I've got to control it a little bit, so I'm going to try. I've done this before. This wood's fairly green. I couldn't find my moisture tester. I think it may be in the garage in there, but I don't want to take the time now to dig it out, because I want to get these coated. I've got my grandson coming out for dinner, and I got to get the grill in here in a few minutes, but I got, I think, enough time to go ahead and put some primer on the ends. So just going to go ahead and give these a heavy coat. Anything you can do to stop that from splitting. It don't take much. Latex breathes a little bit, but if you put it on nice and heavy, it'll soak in there a good ways and retard it. There's other things you can use to, then they make stuff just for this, but I don't happen to have any of it here now. I've used it all on other project wood, so I'll get these all coated up, and then I'll set them up to dry for a month or so. So that gives me 5 pieces. Surely there'll be one of those billets or pieces that'll make a decent enough piece to make that club head out of. So I'll catch up with you when we work on this again. Okay, so found my moisture tester, and before I put these up, let's just take a real quick check, see what ballpark we're in. I'm on the 22 to 36% scale. That's below that. Let's go to the 6 to 20 scale. Yeah, it's saying it's over 20, so let's go back to the 22 scale. That's saying it's 24%. That's a very dense wood, and it'll hold water for a long time. So I guess that answers that. It's way over yonder, too wet to work with. So I'll set these up, and it should take a year for them to get totally dry, but that doesn't mean I can't jump up here in the meantime and do a little whittling on them and thin them out a little bit. But we'll see where it gets to. Oh, hey Pedro. How you doing, buddy? You been guarding these for me? I'm gonna go ahead and get them. Need to probably do some work on them, but I appreciate it. I'll get you another beer, okay? I think that's an okay. Well, here's that stack of blanks I piled up. 9/1 of 2022. This is 9/10 of 23, so they've been up there about a year. If you'll remember, I marked the moisture content on them. For instance, this one was 26. So I have this set on the 6 to 20 range, and we'll test to see if they dried out any. That's settling in. It's showing 12 to 14. It's flickering back and forth, so that makes it a 13. So that cut the moisture in half. I'll go ahead and test the rest of these and we'll see where they come out. Well, I tested them all out. They range between 10 and 13%. So basically all the same, about half dried from where they were. That's not bad. It's possible to work with that because the majority of the cracking it's going to do, and you'll notice that I did have some that opened up on me. So I'll try to get some straight grained, and I think this piece right here, that's the 10%, and it has a little crack right in here, and that's not quite wide enough to make that head out of. So I think I'll take this 12%er right here. It's good and clean, no cracks along there, pretty straight grained. It's should be able to, here in the center of it, get some that's that'll work pretty good. At any rate, I think I'll mill it out of that one. If not that one, then no, not that one. It's got several cracks in it, and could be that one. No, it's got cracks in it too. So good thing I cut them like that, because looks like I got one piece of wood out of that that'll work. It's got a little warp in it, but for what I'm doing, the piece is going to be small enough it ain't going to matter. So I think I'll go ahead and mill it up. Now let me tell you just exactly what this project's all about. Well, I marked out 2 blanks. Got one with the grain running this way, and one with the grain running this way, which is right here. So I don't know which one's going to turn out, but with 2 of them, I should have a pretty good choice. I'm going to go ahead and cut those out on a bandsaw. Back in 2002, Penn Golf came up with a program that would allow you to order your putters made to your specifications for an economical price. They designated 3 different body styles: the Answer, Ally, and Zing models, to be available with different hostels and putter weights. Each of those body styles could be matched up with head weights that went on the back onto a flange that was made from a polymer injected with tungsten powder to give it different weights from light, standard, and heavy varieties. By mixing and matching the body styles, weights, and also they offered different hosel types, shaft lengths, and grips, you can make up to 37 different combinations. Because you could specify the putter feel with all of these options, they named these as Ping Specify clubs. These sold for around $175 each. This particular putter that I'm working with is a Ping Answer body style. And I have a picture here of what it looked like with the flange installed. I think that'll work right there too. It's bellied out a little bit right in there, isn't it? Not much. Not much. Huh. That may be the way I'm going to make it. So, before I start trying to fit this on perfectly, I need to go ahead and drill the holes for the inserts for the screws. So I've clamped this in place, and I find that if you want to find the exact center of a hole, the best thing to do is find a drill bit. And I prefer to use a brad point because the tip of it has that point on it that'll exactly show me where the center is. And a drift punch, or I'm sorry, a centering punch would be nice, but I don't have a set of centering punches, so I just use a drill bit and just drop it through the hole and mark it. So you know exactly where the center of that hole is going to be. What you end up with, not surprisingly, is an indication of where you need to drill. Okay? So I need to drill a larger hole there and a larger hole there that fit the insert. I'm not for sure what size the insert is. I haven't really taken time to measure it yet. And then I'm going to need to trim above this line to the outside of these lines. I need to trim that down so that this mating surface here will fit into this cavity here. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and mark the other one, and like I said, I'm doing two of them, so hopefully one of them works out. And I'm going to go ahead and mark this so that I can get the insert holes drilled. A while back, my son-in-law had his broken, and so I checked with Ping to find out whether or not I could get a replacement, and I couldn't. So I decided instead to make one out of wood. Wood because, well, that's what I do, is woodworking. And I decided that I would try to get it so that it had a little more weight than what it had to start with. I just, myself, like the feel of a heavier putter. So I brought it home, and as I showed, I had pear wood that came from his yard, and so it was green. I knew that I had to do something in order to get it to season out before I could do much of anything with it, but I thought it'd be kind of neat if he had a club that had wood that came from his own yard on it. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm going to make a head that goes on the club made out of that wood from his yard. And I'm not going to make it in the traditional ping answer shape. Instead, I'm going to make it in what is called a mallet putter shape. There's a bit of a bow in the putter head face. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I push it down in the center here. You can see there's a crack on that end and a crack on that end. So what I need to do is I need to shave off and make a curve in here. I don't really want to grind on the putter itself, so I'll take it out of the wood. So what I'll do that with is a scraper. That fits pretty flush right there. I think I can work with that. Yeah, that's a pretty good fit right there. There are a couple things to keep in mind. First off, the face or the head of the putter that is on this is made out of manganese bronze, and it is very heavy. It's cast and milled to shape, and it will have a little bit of a curvature in the face. The face of the putter is not perfectly flat, and that's intentional. So there's nothing wrong with this club when you find that it's curved. And the weight of the wood is pretty heavy. Pear is a fairly dense, heavy wood. And if he finds that it's too heavy, I can take some weight off by boring holes through the inside of it. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this thing, and I'll catch up with you just a little while. Oh, hey, Pedro. How you doing, buddy? I bet you thought I'd forgot you, didn't you, huh? Well, I didn't. Tell you what, though, I need another favor. Hold on. Let me get it. Okay, well, got some leftover wood here. Gonna have you keep care of it a little while longer. Got another project coming up where I'm gonna be making a bunch of tool handles, and that wood will come in handy. But I did promise, and I brought you a fresh one, buddy. Brought you the good stuff. Here you go, bud. I'll trade you out. Thanks, bud. This video's getting kind of long. I think I'll just cut it off right here. I'll get part 2 out in a few days. Well, within a week. But Pedro and I, we wanted to say we do appreciate you watching and hope you have nothing less than a wonderful day. Ain't that right, Pedro? I believe that's a C, senor.